Good day. Welcome to this lecture series in Godot.
Hello, good day. Welcome back to another lecture in the series where we are learning Godot. In this video, we will consider an apply impulse and a vector2. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's delete this. Don't need this right now. We'll learn about the function apply impulse. Press enter. Apply impulse. Apply impulse. So apply underscore impulse. And this apply impulse, this is really supposed to be on player one, where we extending the properties of the widget body 2D, well, to get the physics. So what this will do, apply impulse, it will apply an impulse to a physics body. Remember the widget body 2D is a, well, essentially it will allow the node to obtain or access some physics. So when we are applying an impulse, it's like, let's say you're applying a push. So this really needs a parameter, but to actually determine what we need to apply, what we can do, we can hold on control on the keyboard and then click this. So we can, or can say left click. So we'll put brackets here and control left click. So this will bring us to the inbuilt reference page where we can get some information concerning Godot. So what you realize here is that this, so in this layout panel here, over you can see these files, we see rigid body 2D is now appearing here, and this panel that has appeared here, well, it is in the scripting scene. We are seeing a lot of information, and it tells us all the functions that we can apply to the rigid body 2D. So we can apply a void apply torque, a void apply torque impulse, etc. We can go through this and see the properties we can add. So we need to go to apply impulse. Alright, so come back to here, apply impulse. So this tells us what is the parameters we need to add. One needs to be, well, it has to have to be an impulse, a vector2. That's one parameter that we need to put in. Next one needs to be, like, let's say, a position, and the position also needs to be a vector2. So we can see here, this vector2, it has a default value of 0. So what this means, once we put in this parameter, this vector2 parameter, we could just work with this because this position here can automatically be filled because it has a default value, a value of 0. So let's go back to the player script, and we need to give this some arguments. So type vector2, vector2. So what you can see here, Godot is helping us. So this really is supposed to have two numbers. So I'll put, like, let's say, okay, so put 25, comma, just try 0. Essentially, this vector2 needs to have two numbers, and Godot was helping us and was telling us that, hey, this will have two numbers, so just give us a hint. So why does the vector2 need to have two values? You can see before we had an x value and a y value. Why is that? It's because the apply impulse is essentially like applying a push, and it's applying the push on the x-axis and the y-axis. So to see this, let's press play. And okay, so I wanted to see what are we applying this one. I want to see something move here. So what I'll do, I will go back to this. This is player one. I'll apply, yes, I'll apply to player one, and I'll set the rigid body. So I'll come back to player one here. I'll go to the rigid body, and I'll go to the player one, and I'll turn the rigid body to gravity scale to 0. I'll save, go up to script, and let's press play again. So it's going to fall. Alright, you see it's going across. So let me just adjust the player one. In fact, let me try from here, level 1. Back to 2D script, yes, 2D script, and you can press play. Yes, so we see because we put the rigid body at 0, this will not fall, so there's no gravity, but there's still an impulse being applied to player 1, and it is pushing player 1 to the right here. So this is working. So I have a challenge for you. What you can do is that, let's go back to script. So let's go back to the player 1. So we have this apply impulse here on the script for the GDScript. So what you can do is that you can play around with the impulse. You have the x coordinate and you have the y coordinate. Play around with the impulse and see how it performs. So for those of you who will actually play around with the challenge, let's see. Guess what will happen if you apply, let's say 25 here. And let's say the same 25 on top here. Press Control, let's save. Let's play. So you see 25, 25 is going up, so it's going across and it's going down, so it's going diagonal. Remember when we were setting up the coordinates in Godot, and we said for the y-axis, when we put a positive value, it will go down, and when we put a minus value, it will go up. So let's put minus 25. This will be the y-axis. Control S. Let's see what will happen. See, it goes up. So we see this is working. Alright, so you can see here how we use this function, apply impulse, and how we can get an object to move. There's another function that can get an object to move. It's called apply force. We'll explore that in the next video. So generally speaking, I achieved the objectives for this video, so I'll end this video here. Thank you.